And hello, we're playing another game of Marvel Dice Throne Mission. And hello, how is everybody doing today? I am playing another mission of Marvel Dice Thrones. Today I am playing as Cyclops and Rogue, who are also X-Men characters because the X-Men set came with this game and I haven't gone downstairs to go get the other characters from Marvel or the other Dice Throne expansions to play with this yet. So that's why we're going to be doing a lot of X-Men and a Deadpool until we exhaust all those characters, and then we will mix in Spider-Man and Thor and all the other characters from the Marvel set that came before it. I have a little bit of a throat thing going on, so I apologize if I sound a little froggy. I know, I feel like every time I record, I've got something going on, but that's what's going on today. Yeah, so I gave myself a little bit more room on the table today, not much more. I need like a taller stand to be able to give myself much more room, which I don't have yet, so I got to figure that out. Last time I played mostly without mistakes. There's a couple small things. I think I rolled defense or forgot to roll defense on a few things. I think I gave myself momentum once or twice when I should not have. And someone else pointed out something else that I did wrong. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but I'm sure it will come back to me at some point. I think maybe it had to do with the defensive shield tokens that I guess maybe they only go away when there's a defensive roll, I think, maybe. Let me double check. And then the other thing that I played wrong, I looked it up. There's a YouTuber comment. I don't remember the name off the top of my head. Also, I'm not sure if I should call out YouTuber names. I guess I could, but I don't know if I'm supposed to do that. I don't know the etiquette on that. If I like say like, hey, Bob 142652, thank you so much for your comment. I guess I can because it's public, but I don't have it memorized. So anyway, someone pointed out that I might have also misplayed some of the on stuff. Like for instance, on like the defense rolls on Iceman, I think I might have applied too many things. Like I think they were all like one-time things. But for the most part, I don't think anything that I did wrong rules-wise changed like the outcome. It was a pretty easy mission, but hopefully I don't make those mistakes today. And again, as always, if I do make mistakes, let me know and I will do my best to play it correct in future plays. All right, so we're going to get right into it today, other than I am going to complain once again about these mission boards. We're doing Morlock Massacre, which I'll explain what that is in a second. But when I took out the board literally, without using these board butlers, had about this much space. It had enough space to put the entire card deck underneath it and more, and it just refused to fall flat. Like I literally had to like press it down, bend it backwards twice, and then put the board butlers on. And even after all that, like there's still about this much off the table. I don't know. Could be a humidity thing, I guess, maybe, but I think it's just the quality of those mats, and they are super reflective as well. Like I had to adjust my whole light setup just so that you can barely see the reflection. Even then, you can still see some of the reflection. So, still not a fan of those mats, but other than that, everything else looks nice. So, can't really complain about other stuff. All right, so let's get started. Hopefully today will be a lot shorter than last time because we're just going to do a play and hopefully not make any mistakes. Let's cover our characters first. And I just realized I forgot to do something. All right, so let's talk about the characters first. So we got Cyclops and Rogue. I haven't really looked at their abilities down here yet. We'll discover them as we play, but we will just talk about their kits real quick, or at least like their special powers. So first, why are you not working? All right, so first we'll talk about Cyclops. He is supposedly a complexity 4 hero, although, I mean, maybe his powers are where the complexity comes in, but his abilities seem pretty straightforward. He's got battle plan, which seems like kind of like a variable thing. You get tokens on it, and then you can either spend 1 or 3 to do a bunch of different things. You can examine the opponent's hand, which Doesn't do anything here at all because it's a positive effect, and the opponent doesn't have any hand, doesn't have a hand, so you can't even use it to get momentum. You only get momentum from negative things. But you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck with 3 tokens, or give something focus fire, which I guess is you're going to be, I don't know, throwing out battle plans and kind of do that to a bunch of different enemies. So there's flexibility there, but a little bit less flexibility in just missions. Then there's support. You can spend tokens either on yourself or on other characters, which is nice since you can't always do that with all the characters here. You can spend a token to get give a player CP. You can let them re-roll. You can make them draw a card. So that's all good. That's actually going to be pretty helpful to spread those tokens around everybody. And there's a stack 3, so I guess the assumption is that you can do a lot of support. And then Focus Fire basically just adds 1 to the incoming attack damage. I'm pretty sure that's basically like using a token, but it goes on the bad guys individually. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I don't know if there's any math implications with certain abilities, but this is a pretty starter level mission, so I don't think anything weird's going to be happening. So that's Cyclops. Then we have Rogue. Rogue here, she does influence, another one that doesn't really work for the mission structure, which is you can roll 1 or 3. It forces them to lose roll attempts if you roll well, but since the enemies only roll once, it doesn't really do anything, so you're just going to be using that for momentum part. Iconic energy though is useful. You can kind of discard them to add damage, so they're very similar to the power tokens you can get from the board, but it has a stack limit of 4, and these have 2 sides, 1 and 2. So I'm assuming, I haven't really looked at her powers, but I'm assuming there's ways to stack 2s, maybe even get like 8 extra damage on a single roll if you want to use it, or want to save them up that way, but I don't know specifically how they come out. I'm assuming more frequently the 1s come out, and maybe with some of the updated powers, 2s come out. And then Skyward, which is another positive effect that will be useful. Basically, you roll dice, you make the enemy roll dice, and then based on the outcome, you either are dealing damage to them or you're blocking damage. You're preventing them. And that's anytime you're attacked. So I think that attacked is a special keyword. I might have to look that up. I'm assuming it's anytime you have to roll dice. That's an assumption, and again, the way stuff is worded is weird. Kind of the diehard players think it's very clear, but sometimes I think it's not super clear until you have played enough where I guess it becomes super clear. But I have to look at specifically what attacked, because I do believe there's like abilities that aren't attacked or attacked. And this one specifically, I don't know. It probably says it in this rules clarification. Only a single effect occurs regardless of the number of times the die was rolled. I'm not sure, but she's a complexity 3. I don't know why she is less than Cyclops. She seems slightly more complex. I don't know. We'll find out. Maybe her abilities become more complex once we start rolling. But those are the 2 characters I'm using. Those are the summaries, and yeah. I guess let's talk just quickly about the mission. Whoops. We want to talk about. So we are doing the Morlock Massacre. Mister Sinister is trying to wipe out the Morlocks beneath New York City. He has sent a strike from I'm reading this funny because the text is really small across the table. Sent a strike team of clones to do his real evil bidding, stop them before it's too late. The main objective is we just have to defeat the beam clones. Those are the blue ones. There's one over here and there's one over here. And then upon completion, we can leave and flip the board, or we can go for the perfect reward if your team defeats all henchmen, distribute an additional 6 health and 3 momentum. It's unclear to me right now without looking it up if leaving is optional. Like if I complete the main objective, do I have to immediately leave, or can I hang around and keep trying to do stuff? I'm assuming you can hang around and do stuff, but again, I'd have to look it up, and it's only occurring to me now that like it might be that if you kill the 2 beam guys first, you're forced to leave and don't get the bonus. But we're going to play, at least for now, that it's optional and that we can continue killing henchmen and leave when we want to. It doesn't say may, but I don't know. I'm assuming it's optional. Either way, it's probably not too hard to purposely not do. So there's that. Then we got the Brute clones, Dream clones, and then we have Sinister's Rage. So Sinister, you're familiar with bad guy. We're gonna be flipping him over. We're gonna be fighting Mister Sinister and as the main boss. So that's spoilers. I guess we already said it though, Mister Sinister. Okay, so he's gonna be hurting us on the 6 rolls, and that's like the kind of like the lasers for the last one. We can't really stop that from happening. And that's the map. So that's the characters, that's the map. We set everything up, and I guess we'll just get started. The only other thing to talk about, I guess, this thing, which is the player perks. And basically, because I played once and won on difficulty 1, I gained 3 perks the first difficulty. The perk system is kind of like the meta stuff that carries over between games, but it gets attached to the player. And the more you play, you get like to start with different things. I chose this one down here. Once per game, I can re-roll an enemy die. And the weird part about playing solo is if you were playing with 2 people or 4 people, each player would have their own player perk sheet. So you could be at, you know, different progression levels depending on how often you've played. If I played 10 times and you played 2 times, then, you know, that might be a thing, and I might have more perk points than you, or you might have more perk points than me, and might have more powers or whatever. But what's weird about solo is that I'm playing both characters. So I'm assuming that I can do this twice because I am basically the player for both of these. I don't really know, but I assume that's how it works. Again, one of these things that I could look up, should I really be motivated to, but I'm not motivated to. It just makes sense that like 2 different players, but I have the same amount of perks, so I could do that twice, once for each character. And that's how we're just going to play it. Again, if there's some ruling that I don't know about, feel free to comment and let me know, but that's what we're going to do. All right, so first I'm going to turn my little head on. Whoops, there we are. Hey, hi, back. My camera was asleep and now it's back. Second thing I'm going to do is we are going to cover our starting hand. So we start with 30 health each. We start with 2 CP each. These are Cyclops starting cards. Cover these now. We have a bye-bye, which is basically remove a status effect. Could be good, could be bad. You can use it in a PvP match to remove good things. Remove all status effects from a chosen player. Same thing. You got to watch out because it takes away your good things and your bad things. We can change the value of any die, and we can transfer an effect token to another player. So that could be a good thing or a bad thing. So we got no powers for Cyclops. We did get an upgrade for Rogue though. So Rogue has duplicate. So this is her defense roll. It's her normal defense roll rolls 4 dice. This rolls 5 dice. And I think that's really the only difference is the amount of dice that you roll. This is for every. So this would repeat if I roll the correct stuff more than one time. Then we have getting pain, gain 2 CP. So we're going to do that right now. There's no reason not to. That's going to put her at 4 CP. So we'll get rid of that right away. And then we also have a change the value of any die. And we have a specific ability for her. Roll a die on, don't know what's that called, on ions. I guess that's what those are called. Gain a CP and 2 iconic energy. This is her promo card, so it's explicit to her. On any other outcome, lets you draw 1. It seems like a lot of the promo cards are roll a dice, get lucky, and if not lucky, roll a card. So we are gonna put out her stronger defense right now, and it costs 3 CP to do. And again, without moving my camera closer to the table, this is always going to be blurry. I kind of have a crazy idea on how to make this cleaner when I zoom in. Either requires a mechanical arm, which will be really hard to do, or requires multiple cameras, which I might not be able to afford to do for a while. But one day, I want to experiment with the idea to make these zoom ups more legible when doing that. But it is what it is for right now. One day, I might have more cameras. It'll just work, but I don't right now. All right. So that's everything. So starting hands. That's what we're doing. We are going to get started. So turn phase. First player is going to be Cyclops. Again, we're just choosing it. Movement, all boost tiles in your space. So we and now move wherever. So we're just gonna go to these guys to the left. I guess we're gonna try and kill these guys. A little unfortunate the way this is set up. Hold on, let me double check something. Yeah, so we can move infinite spaces. So we're gonna do something a little bit weird for this first turn. We're gonna move Rogue all the way over here. Actually, we're gonna move Rogue all the way up here. We're gonna give her a momentum point. Why do I keep doing that? There we go. And we're doing that because now she can't get punched by both of these guys at once. And then we're gonna move Cyclops all the way over here. We're going to take this remove one status effect from self to gain one. I'd rather have the health, I think, because I don't really know if we have ways to heal. I think Rogue might have ways to heal. I don't know if Cyclops does. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to punch two separate guys at once and see how things go. And then we're going to do, technically, I would do the upgrade phase. I would do our phases now with our cards. I don't know why I did it so early. I would pay the 3 CP, I would trade in the card. I already did it during setup for some reason, but now is when that would happen. So I would do Rogue's card. For the first phase, we don't draw or get CP, but starting the next phase, we would do the income phase. So now we're going to do our offensive roll phase. We're going to start with Cyclops. And we did get 2 6s. I think now is the time where we're going to have to look at his board a little bit and see what we can do here. He has Strafe with 4 6s, which is get 3 battle plans, inflict focus fire, then deal 5 undefendable damage, and his ultimate is basically the same thing, but he gets a lot more than deal 11 damage. We have a So Wild, and Rogue has a So Wild if we want to spend them, although Rogue does not have the CP to spend it. Problem is, as always, if I don't roll well, then I'm kind of in a bad place where I can't deal any damage, because he doesn't have anything that does stuff with 2 dice. Well, I guess he does. He has never backed down. So let's roll a second time and just see what he rolls. We're going to keep the 6s, and kind of not a great outcome. So let's just re-roll. Let's re-roll them both. Probably the worst outcome, what we have. Actually, no, we have a small straight, so we have stuff that we can do here. All right. So we have a 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can do regroup. And I think that's the only thing that we can do. I could, a leadership card was previously played this turn, add 2 damage. I don't know what a leadership card is yet. Maybe he has, oh wait, leadership is his ability, right? Battle plan? No, I guess he has cards that are leadership cards, and maybe that's where his complexity comes, but we haven't drawn any yet, so I don't know what those are. Yeah, so we're just going to do regroup, and that's what we're going to do. So let's move on over to Rogue. Let's roll her dice. How we do. Kind of missed dropping one of the dice at the top of the tower, but okay. Let's evaluate what we have right now. We have a 6, 2, 3, and 4. So right now, we can just deal 4 damage, and if we can get 3 of a kind, we can get a CP. Or we can go after a straight. We have a 6, 4, 2, 3, 4, 6. Full straight would be gain 2 influence and deal 9 damage, which would not be bad. So let's try rolling once and see if we can get lucky. Get another 6. We can get another blue, and we can do Skybound instead. So let's roll 2, see how that goes. Actually, no, we can do Sass. Well, Sass isn't really that good though. So Sass is this one. We can gain a CP. We can inflict influence, which again, influence isn't that good for our scenario, but it does get us momentum. And then we can start looking at allies to pick up. But it's only 3 undefendable damage, which I don't really like, but that's what we can do currently with our dice roll. Our other option is gamble for Skybound, and I can deal 7 damage, but well, they don't defend, so 7 damage is pretty good, and then I would get Skyward, which is a little bit better. But if I miss this roll, I'm going to be forced to have Cyclops cast So Wild to help me out. But I don't know. We're just going to do it. We also have, and this is probably something I should have mentioned, we have her passive, Iconic Drive. Whenever damage is successfully dealt to you from an attack, we gain Iconic Energy. So basically, whenever she takes damage, she gets those power-up tokens. That's one of the ways that she gets stronger. So we're going to gamble. We're going to try to get a blue on this last roll. And we got the blue. We are okay right now. All right, so those are our rolls. Now we do move on to, what do we move on to? We have another main phase. No, we already did our main phase. Now we have to actually resolve our dice. I don't know why. I just played this game, yet I feel out of practice. So we'll do Cyclops first. Cyclops is attacking this guy up here. Cyclops is gaining 2 battle plans. Then he's going to deal 6 damage. It is defendable damage. So which means that this shields on this guy right here can apply. So this guy's going to go from 12 to 9. 3 gets stopped by that shield. Then Rogue is going to be doing her Skybound. She's going to be getting a sword token. This is the thing that we can use to stop damage on attacks. She's going to gain a CP, which is good because she needs a little bit of extra CP since she spent some already. She's at 2. And then she's going to deal 7 damage. So this guy over here, also defendable damage. So 3 gets stops, and they go from 12 to 8. Then we would get a hero part 2 phase where we would play cards. We're not going to play any cards. So now the enemies are going to go. We would check for status effects on them. There are none. So they're going to roll. They roll once. But what did I do with their dice? Oh, they're right in front of me. So let's roll for the henchman. That's a lot of 6s, but that actually could be good for us. All right. So it is good for us because the brutes don't attack because they need the orange and the blue icons. Beam clones don't attack, but Sinister's Rage does trigger, and it's a multi-strike range. It's going to inflict Wither, so we now have to see what Wither does. I think Wither makes us do less damage. We both get, everyone here gets Wither. And then we deal 1 undefendable damage, which means we don't roll our defense rolls. We just take the damage. So Cyclops is at 39. Rogue is at 39 or 29, not 39. And I think that's it. This triggers 1 time. Doesn't trigger 3 times. Although, you know, maybe future enemies do. And again, we'll just hold up this reference chart. We're looking for Wither is on the bottom right here. Wither, negative status effect. A player with a Wither token would deal damage as a result of their attack. Reduce that damage by 1 per Wither. Stack limit 2, and it's persistent, which means we have to remove it some way to get rid of it. Currently, we have cards that can get rid of it, so that's good. But we don't have anything that targets negative, and I got rid of one of the remove 1 status effects tokens from the board, so not great there. But when Rogue got attacked, she gains 1 of these tokens because of her Iconic Drive ability. Whenever damage is successfully dealt to you on an attack, you get an Iconic Energy. So that's what we're doing. So that's it for their turn. Now we have to do the Crisis Clock. So this is going to turn twice. The first time it turns, the Brute Clones are going to trigger deal 3 collateral damage to all heroes within melee. So both of us are within melee of, so we're both going to get 3 collateral damage. And it is collateral damage, which I believe is defendable, but I will have to double check that. I don't have any of that stuff memorized yet. I'm sure the dice thrown people out there are like, yeah, so nothing's defendable except for normal damage. So yeah, I could, yeah, like this is where I don't know if that's an attack. Probably look up what an attack is. Into the keywords. Took me a while to find it because it's defined in the original rulebook. An attack is an offensive ability that deals at least 1 damage that targets an opponent, i.e. not collateral damage. So Rogue does not get any Ionic Drive passive from this because it's collateral damage, even though this is an ability. So yeah, And it also means that she can't use her Skyward to defend against. That's what I was looking to find out. So that's done, and then now everybody loses 1 CP. So 3 CP that we got, we all now lose. We're going to get it back though right now. Turn phases past the start player. Rogue is now the start player. And what was I going to do? We do movement. All right, so one of us is going to get rid of our Wither. I guess we will do that. Remove 1 status effect token and gain momentum. We'll do that right now. So the Wither goes away and Cyclops gets a momentum. And right now we only have 1 card that we can purchase with 1 momentum, and that's Squirrel Girl. Once per round during your main phase, I can spend 3 momentum. All heroes gain bonus damage +1. Use a face-up boost tile anywhere on the map, pick up and gain its reward. Seems pretty good, actually. One of us might pick up Squirrel Girl, but not yet. I'll read off the other ones when I get more momentum. Actually, we will just pick up Squirrel Girl now. That seems pretty strong, actually. We will give Squirrel Girl to Cyclops. Actually, no, we're going to give it to Rogue because she has less use for some of her stuff, which means she might get more momentum. So she could probably trigger this more frequently. Which means we have to get another ally out, and that's a Mantis. Once per round as an instant action. Spend 1, choose a hero that heals 2. So another pretty good one to actually get, especially since I'm not sure how often we can heal. All right. So we did Cyclops, and I think Rogue is just going to stay where she's at. Actually, no. He will come around over here and heal for 2. And we're going to both beat up on this guy now. Get a little bit of healing in. And actually, I guess all the characters can go past their max limit, I forgot. So we probably could have taken that 6 early and that 3 over there early, and it wouldn't have been a big deal. I'll remember that for next time. I forgot that you can heal up to 10 past, so it's actually not that bad to get extra health early. I didn't actually have to avoid it so hard the way that I did. So future note, that's what we can do. All right, so now we do upkeep. No one has any upkeep stuff to deal with, so we do income. We're both going to get ACP points. And we're both going to draw a card. Rogue just gets a draw 3. Cyclops gets a chosen player and prevent stuff. And again, I don't know what a leadership card is. I have to look through his deck real quick. Are these cards called leadership? And I just don't know it. I got to figure out what a leadership card is. Maybe it says it somewhere. Leadership card. These are cards count against your hand limit and may be sold for 1 if desired. They also trigger additional effects when using the Never Let Go leadership card. See what that looks like. Oh, okay. They say leadership card on them. I just couldn't find that. Okay. So do I have leadership cards? No. All right. I just don't have any leadership cards yet. Okay. So they say it. It's just not obvious. So we're not playing any cards. We're just going to move on to our roll phase. Rogue is going to be rolling first. All right, so we have 6, 5, 4, 3. That's a straight. I don't know why, but I tend to lean towards straights when I play this game. So we're going to see if we can just get our... Although, let's talk about this. Leech is pretty good. Gain an iconic energy and roll 1. On a hand, we get the steal health. On a blue, we get the steal health and gain an iconic energy. And on a 6, we get the steal health and gain iconic energy. Then we can spend 1 to increase the value of the die by 1. Or we can just do 7 damage, inflict influence, or we can do 9 damage. I guess let's roll 1 dice and see what we get. How about that? Let's just do that. We'll let the dice dictate what we do. Got a 6. Roll it 1 more time. And we got a 4. Okay. Maybe we'll leak, take advantage of that. But I have multiple options with what I have now. So we'll leave what I have and we'll see what Cyclops does. I probably look really funny on the camera leaning forward to roll these dice, but all the way on the other side of this. All right. Well, his normal attack Hand to hand just deals damage, and on 4 of a kind, I get a battle plan or support. We're not really close to 4 of a kind. Or I could just hold what I have and go for a 6, and I can get inflict focus fire and then deal 5 damage. Guess we'll just roll this and see what we get. We get a 6. If we get anything, we can do something with it. So, all right, we'll just keep that. I guess. I could try to gamble and get the 4 of a kind, but we're not going to do that. I'm assuming the upgrade is 3 of a kinds do something, but yeah, we're just going to keep it. All right, so Rogue then is going to choose what she wants to do. And I kind of like the idea of just healing and getting iconic energy, but we're also in a situation where we can just kill this guy. He has got 15 health. 7 plus 7 is 14. I guess we can't kill this guy because both of our stuff is defendable, which means that shield will trigger. But leech, I assume, is not defendable because it's stealing. I guess it's defined. I guess maybe probably in this FAQ. This does not count as dealing damage. It cannot be prevented or reduced. Does not count towards damage calculation. It does not activate an opponent. Okay, yeah, okay. So I knew we read that somewhere. All right, I guess we'll do leech and we'll just see what happens. So we're gonna get an iconic energy out of this. We gain 1 and then we roll a dice. Dice dictate what else happens. We got a 5, and on a 5, we steal 4 health and get another single iconic energy. So now we have 3 iconic energy. We're gonna get 4 health. So we're gonna be up to 32. So much for not being able to heal. And then we are going to do 4 damage, and the 4 damage skips the shield, so they're going to go from 12 to 8. That shield stays. What I've been told is correct. I actually didn't look it up. I'm just trusting a YouTube commenter, which I believe they are correct. And then Cyclops just has all these hands. So they're going to do a hand-to-hand, which is this ability, which is blurry. Can't see it. I apologize. One day I'll be able to make that clear, or maybe I'll scan these and make that clear. That's actually probably what I'll do next time. I think next time I will just scan these so you can read them, and then we'll talk about what we'll do after. All right, so we just deal 7 damage. That's all we do with Psych. And 3 of that gets defended, and then that means... And then we go back to our heroic phase. We're not going to do anything interesting on this heroic phase. So then the enemies are going to go. The enemies would have their upkeep. Oh, well, I guess we have Wither. Does Wither affect Rogue Steel? I assume not, right? Where is that Wither? When a player would deal damage as a result of their attack. I'm assuming it's not an attack because there's no defense roll. I'm assuming Wither does not work with Leech. Don't really know. It says it cannot be reduced. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it does not work with. So that's another way to get around Wither is just Leech thing. All right. I forgot what we're doing. Okay, so the enemy goes. That's what we're doing. They're going to roll their dice now. And this is looking a little bit worse for us now. Let's see what happens here. All right. Why is everything dark? Okay, I guess it's just dark. All right, so the Brute clones are going to attack and the Beam clones are going to attack, but Sinister's Rage does not trigger. The Brute clones, they multi-strike, they do melee, and they deal 5, which means that this guy's going to hit us once for 5, but that does mean we get to roll our defense dice. So Cyclops is going to roll 3, and his thing is he prevents... I just punched the camera, sorry about that. He prevents 1 per fist. He prevents 1 per fist, and on 6s I can choose to either deal damage or prevent 2. So we only rolled 1 fist, so we're only preventing 1 damage. So Cyclops is taking 4 damage. And Rogue, he has an upgraded defense, so hopefully hers will do more. We'll see. And actually, I think technically Rogue would be going first, so I could change stuff if she does damage. So let's do Rogue's first. She is the first player. The Rogue's is for every 2 hands, I deal 1 damage. So I'm going to deal 2 damage. That's it. I'm going to deal 2 damage. I'm assuming, let's see if I can use the iconic energy. If you gain iconic energy, Player with this token may choose to spend it to add an additional number of damages to their. All right, so I guess damage. I guess defense is not an attack. That's gonna be my interpretation of that. Again, if I'm wrong, but it seems like attacks are things that you roll dice for, or you target a player and do something to that is non-defendable. Weird because defense is damage, but I guess it's not an ability that's an attack. So we're going to rule out that we cannot use the 2 iconic energy for it. But we do 2 damage. This guy has 2 health, but that does mean Rogue takes full 5 damage. Actually, you know what? Hold on. We have this. We're going to use this token, the Skyward. And let's read how that works again. When a player with this is attacked, they may choose to spend it. If they spend, you and your attacker each roll 1 dice. The player who spent this token may pay 1 to reroll their die. The outcome is greater, deal 3 damage back to the attacker. Okay, so we can maybe save Cyclops' damage. We get lucky on this. We are going to roll dice. And Rogue's 5 is greater than a 2. So she's going to deal 3 damage back. So that's going to kill this dude up here. He's going to die. Actually, no. I think the attack still happens. Pretty sure that's how it works. Pretty sure in this game, the defense kills the attacker. Let me double check. Pretty sure that's how it works. Yes, so unfortunately, Cyclops still takes damage. She still takes damage. But she does murder him, so that's good. And also, it does seem like if you complete the main objective or the whole objective, then the round does end immediately. So you do have to time it, which I don't know. I don't know if I did that last time or not, but I guess moving forward, that's how we have to remember to do it. So there is that. Now, the beam clones are going to attack both of us, and they are ranged. So last time we didn't have to deal with range, but this time we do. And it means that both of the beam clone guys are going to hit us. They do multi-strike, range, deal 2 damage, then roll a dice. And if it's a lightning bolt, then we're going to inflict knockdown. All right? So let's roll those dice. I assume we roll once. We get knockdown. I don't know what knockdown does. Probably not good. See what knockdown does. To remove this token, a player affected, I guess we'll put it up here, must spend 2 before the start of their offensive roll phase. If the player does not, they must skip their offensive roll phase and then remove the token. Alright, so not great, but we have the CP to remove it. We'll decide based on the cards we get if we want to remove it or not. I also don't know if Wither affects defensive abilities or not. What did we say an attack was? An offensive ability. So I don't think tokens are abilities. Is an ability. Ability is not. All right. Well, hopefully we're playing it right. All right. So everyone's going to be taking 2 damage, and it is defendable. We could. Well, it's only defendable if we spend momentum to make it defendable. We're not going to do that. We're just going to take the damage. We're going to save up our momentum by some of these characters. So that is their turn. Now we're going to advance this Doomsday Clock twice. So the beam clones are going to trigger their crisis ability, and they're going to inflict focus fire and deal 1 collateral damage to all heroes. So we are taking 1 more damage each. Cyclops is now down to 19. And Rogue is down to 24. Now we got focus fire on us. So now we're taking more damage every time we get hit with an attack, I assume. Again, it's only when attacked. So a lot rides on understanding the keyword attacked and hoping we do it correctly. All right, so that is everything. So now we're going to pass the start player to Cyclops. Oh, we also forgot drop this. This space is now open and we can spread our momentum around. So we are going to give 2 momentum to Cyclops. We do our movement phase. We are going to have, oh no. Now if we want to actually heal, if I want to heal Cyclops with that 6, I actually have to not attack for a turn. Not good. So I think what we are going to do is the following. We are going to move Cyclops to this momentum space right here. That's going to give him another momentum. He's at 4. And then we're going to move Rogue into this 1 space right here. And she gets a +1 damage token that we can use. For now, we'll just put the tile there. Okay. We want to, if we can, kill that guy, but also start damaging this range dude. So how do we go about doing that? Well, first, we are going to lose 2 CP, but gain a CP to get rid of this negative status effect, but we get 1 CP for the income phase. So these knocked outs go away. So we can roll. We are going to draw a card. Cyclops gets his upgrade for strafe, so we might sell something to get this out. It basically gives us an additional thing with 6s and makes our other 6 thing a little bit stronger. And then a Rogue basically just gets a double up, which is a draw 2 cards for 1 CP. We might do that soon. All right, so we're going to do something. No, we're not going to do something. Yeah, so we're going to get rid of transference to gain a CP, and then we're going to upgrade strafe. So that's going to make Cyclops go from 2 to 0. So now this is upgraded for him. And we'll discard that. And then that's it. That's all we're going to do for this turn. Got 4 cards. Rogue is missing a card. No, it's right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where is Rogue's other card? Well, I'm not sure what happened there. Oh wait, it's right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, never mind. I thought I was missing a card. All right, so we're going to start our offensive roll phase. Now, I think we have to target first, right? One of those things I should know. You get to roll and then target. I feel like I knew this last time, but I've forgotten. Yeah, so we get to select our target after we roll. So let's roll and see who's doing what, and that will determine what we do. So we can do teamwork with this roll. Teamwork is this one right here. Gain 2 supports, then deal 5 damage. The leadership card was previously played this turn. I keep not getting leadership cards, so we're not doing that. Or I could gamble to try and get, we have 5s, 4s, and 2s. But I think just sticking with teamwork is probably the best play. Getting some support tokens, dealing 5 damage. I think that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna keep our roll, and we'll do teamwork. Which means Rogue is gonna roll. A lot of blues. We can leech again. But if we leech, we are not guaranteed to kill this guy. But then we can just transfer it to the other guy. So yeah, I think we'll just leech again. Leech is what we did last time. And we also forgot Rogue has another ionic charge from getting hit before by these characters. Maybe it's worth not to leech. Maybe it's worth it to try to attack something because we can spend all these charges. We could do 5, 4, 3, and go for one of her straights. And we need to spend some of this here. I think we're going to try and do that. We have ways, well, we don't have a lot of CP points. Let's see how this roll goes. Worst case, maybe we end up back at our leech state. And all right, what do we get? We got a 1, a 3. Not great. Let's re-roll these 2 and one more time and see what we get. All right, we got the 2, so we can do our absorption. Okay, so then now we can choose who we want to target with this stuff. She can kill that guy with her ionic stuff, which means Cyclops can attack the other guy with his 5 damage. Cyclops is not there. Cyclops would have to make his attack range, which we'll do that, I guess. We got the momentum. We'll make our attack range, and we'll attack this guy using teamwork. We're going to get 2 supports, which I have to look up what support will do for us, and what the stack limits are, but I don't think it's 2. And we're going to deal 5 damage, which is going to drop this shield away. And then Rogue is going to attack for 7. I realize I'm not zoomed away. So we did range here. We made our attack range. We did 5 damage with lowered him to 10. And Rogue is going to do 7 damage. And we're going to use one of our tokens to make it 8. And I think do I have to spend all of them? I don't think so, but let's double check. Choose to spend it individual number of damage to their attack. You only spend 2 tokens per turn. Okay. That's important. But yeah, otherwise we were going to get a token and it would do nothing for us. I like the heal that she could have done, but yeah, what does support do again? I can give people CP, I can give them a card, or I can let them reroll one of their dice. It's actually, we can have 3. All right. If we need CP, we've got the ability to do it. All right. So he's dead. Means we drop one of these down. And we can share 2 momentum. We're going to give the momentum to Rogue this time. And then we could spend some cards. We're not going to. So the enemies are now going to go. We're going to roll for them. We basically don't want blues right now. Or 6s. That's what we don't want. I think we got a little bit of everything. We roll this one. We didn't get the 6. Could have been a 6, but it was not. I don't know. Probably looked like it was a 6 in camera, but from my point of view, it was like literally on its side. All right, so we are doing brute clones. They don't do anything because we're not next to any. We killed all the ones that were next to us. But the beam clones are going to attack us, and we have focus fire. Oh yeah, we're withered too, so she would have had to spend an extra one to kill off that guy. -1, forgot about that. Cyclops is not withered though, but he will be withered now. They're doing 2. Both of us are going to take an extra one because we both have focus fire on us. So we're both taking 3, and then we're going to see if we get knocked down. We both get knocked. Again, I'm not 100% sure if we're supposed to roll for each individual character or not. Seems like it would be more fun to roll for each individual character, so it's not just like everyone gets a thing or no one gets a thing, but what can you do? All right, so we both are taking 3 damage. It is range. I forget if we're actually next to them, we'll have to make it range. All right, so thinking about it, I think I played the beam clones wrong last round. This is what we're gonna do. First, I think last round they both attacked. I took 2 damage and a focus fire. Then I would have taken 3 more damage. And I should have 2 focus fires, which is the limit. Then this round, they're going to hit me twice each. Rogue can defend against the first one because she's adjacent. So let's do a defensive roll with her first. See what happens. She deals 2 damage back, and that's it. So this guy goes down to 8. Which means she's going to take 4 damage. 19, 18, 17. Kind of underestimated the focus fire bit on this one, but we can try to fix that in a bit. Then be down to 8, right? I've already forgotten what I've done so far yet. And then Cyclops can use a momentum to defend against the first one, and the same thing, he's probably going to be taking damage, but let's have him roll. He rolls 3. He prevents or deals damage on 6s. So we're going to have him prevent 2 damage. So he's only going to take 2 damage. And then the other guy, we would both, if we want to defend, we would have to use up momentum. So we are going to do that. We're both going to spend a momentum to defend again. Rogue is going to do all 5. And it looks like she's just going to defend. She's down to 15. And then Cyclops is going to try again. And Cyclops prevents 1 damage. So he's taking. So that puts us at. Cyclops is at 11 health already. Oops. And Rogue is at 15. Might have underestimated that. We might have wanted to remove some of these focuses. But we do have a bunch of healing on the board. We have some ways to prevent damage on future attacks. And Rogue can heal. So maybe we can get around all this damage. But we did forget about that. That's all. So in the future, we have to remember that they both attack. And that matters. Knockdown only has a stack limit of 1. So we can only get knocked down once. But then the Sinister's Rage is going to happen. That's going to deal 3 undefendable damage. Actually, no, that doesn't happen because we don't have any 6s. So we don't have to worry about that. Okay. All right, so that's everything. We then have to do this clock, which we move it twice and only this is going to trigger. And we may have also messed this up too because it's once per undefeated. We have 2 undefeated heroes, but I feel like earlier there was even more, right? Like I feel like probably should have taken more damage earlier from this. Deal 3 collateral damage to all heroes it's within melee though, so we probably did that right actually, because nobody's within melee. All right, perfect. These guys though, they did the focus fire from their beam clones ability, not from their normal attack. But when they did it, they would have given us both 1. I think I did the math wrong. I think they should have 1 more health back. I think I took too much off. Could have been 1 and then 2, not 2 and then 3, and then it's 4 and 4. So another mistake on my part, but I need to remember to do it. When the crisis abilities go off, it's once per undefeated character, but you know you have to be. This one you have to be within melee. This one you do not though. This one is just all heroes. This one's within melee, so this one's not as bad. I think that's correct now. So that's done. I think we go back to everybody's turns. So Rogue is going to be the first player. Let's move that. I'm not going to grab that heal yet. I think we'll wait till we get rid of some of these guys. Actually, no. Let's get that heal because we can do range. Let's have Cyclops grab this. You know what? No. Kind of wish we didn't spend so much momentum. Yeah, no, we'll do it. We will grab this now. We'll heal Cyclops up 6. Put him at 18. We'll leave Rogue where she's at. And we will roll our dice. Rogue will go first. Oh, yeah, no, we also have to, so we're going to use a support token, give Cyclops a CP point. They both get a CP point at the beginning of the income round. And then we're going to spend the CP that we have to get rid of these knockdowns. Forgot about that. We both draw a card. Cyclops gets Samies, which lets us change the value of one of our dice to be identical. And then Rogue gets not this time. So we both have 2 not this times. Problem is we both don't have a lot of CP to spend it. But if a big attack happens against the boss, we can prevent ourselves from taking too much damage. Now Rogue is going to take her. And we're basically hoping that Rogue can just kill this guy with what she has. It'd be nice, though, if she could as well, but I don't think that's going to happen. We need to be able to do 8 damage. 1, 2, 3. Let's roll this 5. See if we can get a 4. Got a 6. Now we're in a weird spot here. 6 doesn't do anything for me. Well, no matter what happens, I can deal 4, 5, 6 damage with Rogue. So let's re-roll this 6 and see if we can get a 4, or maybe we can get another hand. Alright, so we got another hand. Now we can do 5, 6, 7, 8, 7 damage. So we're not going to be able to kill that guy without Cyclops' help, so we're going to have to spend some momentum. So let's do Cyclops' attack now. Got a lot of fists, or whatever these things are. These are pouches. So pouches, what do pouches do for us? All right, pouches can give us teamwork again, which is pretty good because that will help us get our CP back. So teamwork is this one. I get 2 support, then I can deal 5 damage, and that's pretty good. When can we spend these? Spend these tokens for a variety of effects. We can help people re-roll their dice. But right now we want to get our CP back up so we can spend some of these cards that we have. So we're going to spend one right now to get our CP back up to 1. And then we're about to get 2 more CP back. So I'll just put them on the board now. And then now we're going to attack. Cyclops, unfortunately, is going to use a momentum to attack. He doesn't go first, though. Rogue goes first. So Rogue is going to be doing just 5 damage from these dice. And then that's all she's doing. I could spend this to do more, but since Cyclops is attacking with her, we don't need to. So she's going to be doing 5 minus 1, which is 4. And then Cyclops is going to be doing 5 minus 1, which actually he doesn't have Wither, so he's just doing a full 5. So that's going to be more than 8. So this guy goes away. And then we're going to share 2 momentum, and we're going to give it to Cyclops so that he can buy Mantis. So we can start healing when we can. And that is it. That's it for their turns. We got the 2 supports. We're going to spend 1 support immediately just to give a CP to Rogue if she needs it for something. And this way we're past the max limit there. And what can we do with the other thing? Oops. Battle plan. We can examine the opponent's hand with 1. So we can't do anything until we get a lot of battle plan tokens. Haven't really gotten any battle plan tokens. So, all right. So now the enemy is gonna go. We're not gonna spend any more cards. So let's roll, and depending on what they roll, maybe we'll adjust the dice. Let's see. We are going to use our perk ability to force one of these blue dice to be re-rolled. And we're going to use it a second time to re-roll it again. Glad we did that because nothing changed. So our 1 perk ability is gone. I think support can force a re-roll. Let's see. Chosen player may re-roll one of their dice at any time. So I think that's like only a positive. Can't force it as a negative thing. But we have cards. So yeah, we're going to do it this way. I don't like doing it this way. We're going to use a... We are going to use a support to give Cyclops a combat point, and then we're going to spend 2 combat points to do so wild. Change the value of any 1 dice, and we're just going to change one of these blue dice to an orange dice. And that's going to effectively make it so that none of the enemies attack this turn. Although, do we care? Why do I care so much? I care because of the knockdown. I think I care because of the knockdown. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. So the Brute clones don't attack us. They wouldn't anyway. The Beam clones don't attack us. Sinister's Rage doesn't attack us. But the Doom token, the Doom clock is going to go up twice, and both of these effects are going to trigger. Theirs does nothing because it's only within melee range. And the Beam clones does do something though, and both of our heroes take 3 damage. That puts Cyclops down to 15. That puts Rogue down to 13, and we're already at maximum of focus fire, so nothing else happens there. Although these are not attacks again, so maybe the focus fire doesn't work and we just take... Still not sure how that works, but these are not... Reread it again. An offensive ability that deals at least 1 damage that targets an opponent. Yeah, it's not collateral damage. This is collateral damage. Yeah, so I guess because it's collateral damage, we take 1. The double target doesn't come into effect. Means earlier, I may have also then done it right. I have to rewatch this. Playing at like 1 in the morning too, so not helping my brain. But I have to remember, collateral damage does not trigger focus fire. Attacks do, and I feel like I readjusted it twice. So I'm probably taking more damage than I should have. We'll say beginner mistake and move forward. I think I'll be okay. Don't know how hard the boss is going to be, but we have ways to heal still, and that's what we're going to try to do. It is now the hero's turn. We have an upkeep. We have to move first, but we're going to get a CP because we are not knocked down. We're going to move up here, and I think we're going to play it safe. And we're going to have Cyclops heal 3, Rogue stay a little bit away. You can always use their momentum to attack from range if needed. I put Cyclops at 20. We're going to draw cards. Finally get a leadership card with Cyclops. So this is no matter what. 2 damage, then additional 2 damage for each other leadership card that was previously played this turn. So we can, I guess, chain them. But I guess you can only chain them if you get leadership cards. That's the first one that we've seen so far. And then Rogue is back off, inflict, I forget what that's called. Influence. The chosen opponent rolls 1 dice per influence they are afflicted with. For each 1 to 4 rolled, we steal 1 health. So I guess with this, there is a reason to give influence, maybe. But it still feels like you'd want to just get the momentum. What's the stack limit on influence? 2. So at most you can heal 2 health. Doesn't seem that good. Probably the momentum's going to end up being better. The other thing we're going to do with our momentum with Cyclops is we're going to actually buy Mantis now so that we can start healing. We'll have an emergency heal if we need it. We're going to do our attack rolls now. Cyclops is going first. Rogue is at our hand limit, so we might want to spend some of her cards. She's got stuff that lets her draw more cards, so that's not great, but... so this is Cyclops' roll. And we have 6, 5, 4, 3. We have a straight already, so we might go for the straight since we have it. Or we can do more teamwork. But we do get battle plans from this straight. So let us go and try to get a 2. 3 and a 4. So we did not get the 2, but we do have the straight. We're going to do regroup. And then Rogue going to... That looks like a lot of hands. I kind of want Rogue to leech though. But on 3 of a kind, we get a CP. So maybe we just stick with what we have and we'll just do damage. I kind of want the leech, but we'll stick with this. We'll do our brawl. Go, and we're just going to do her brawl. And we're both just going to attack this guy next to us because we don't have enough to finish him off naturally. And I feel like I've probably forgotten to take more iconic. I keep forgetting that she gets them when she gets hit. So focused that leech gives ionic energy that I keep forgetting she gets it when she gets hit too on attacks, which may or may not have happened at last season, but it's fine. All right, so they're both just going to attack the guy next to her. He's going to die. She gets a CP for this though, because she has 3 of a kind, and she's doing 5 damage. Because of the wither, it's 6 minus 1, which is 5. And then because we have our regroup, Cyclops is gaining 2 battle plans, so he can actually spend that for something now. And he's doing 6 damage. So that's going to be enough to kill this guy. He's gone. And with that, one of these drops. And we're going to give 2 momentum back to Cyclops. And then as an instant action, I'm going to spend a momentum to heal Rogue. I think I can do this. And I could play some cards, but I don't really have any use to right now. So we're going to draw, and then maybe we'll play something. Might have to do some weird stuff on Rogue's next turn. So that's it for the heroes. The bad guys are going to go. We're going to roll. They're not in melee range, so basically we just don't want blue or 6. Actually, that's not too bad. Well, it's still not great. Because we don't want the knockdown. Can we do anything about this? We can. We're going to spend 2 CP to turn this 2 into a blue. And then that means nobody is going to attack us again. So we basically spent 2 CP and we changed the value of any 1 dice. We changed it to a blue, which means that nobody attacks, which means we won't get the knockdown. Knockdown would have cost 2 CP anyway, so And I had to get rid of a card for her anyway. I would have rather have kept that for like trying to get her ultimate or something. It's fine. The knockdowns are kind of brutal. We still have to deal with knockdown for one more round after this. We're also in a place too where we can't gang up on these last two enemies because there's no spaces next to them. So one of our characters is going to have to start doing range, which is also unfortunate. So that's that. The crisis clock's going to go up 2 and nothing happens because there's nothing in those spaces. So we're going to do our next phase. Rogue's going to go first. We will make Cyclops grab 2 cards. And he's getting... And never let go. We get to remove a support in a battle plan to exchange the value of any one of your dice. We're going to immediately play this regroup. It only costs 1, but it upgrades that straight, which lets us do a little bit more damage. And that's our 1 CP. We also are in our income phase. We each get a CP, and then we each get another card. Cyclops gets Vegas Baby, which is... We're going to use it right now. We roll dice, and then we gain half the amount of CP. And then Rogue gets... Play this card after a Skyward token has been resolved to double its effect. He's at 6 card total. We're going to do that. We're going to roll a dice for Cyclops right now. He gets 3 CP. That's actually pretty good. And then we're just going to do our dice roll. Rogue's going to go first. Sorry. Alright, so she's going to leech this turn. Range. That's all she's going to do. We got what we needed for leech. Cyclops. Cyclops got a bunch of 6s, so we might go try to get a big hit off here. We have some cards to do that, so let's roll again. Roll one more time. Always the trap. Let's feel like we have something going, and then we... Alright, so Cyclops currently can't do anything with this roll. So we're going to have to manipulate the dice somehow. So we're going to use our Never Let Go. And we are going to remove... This is what Never Let Go says. Remove a support and a battle plan. We have one of each. We can change one of our dice into something else. And we are just going to turn one of these into a... We're going to turn one of these into a fist. That's going to give us basically a full house with colors, and it's going to let us do Never Back Down, which lets us get a battle plan and a support. And we're going to deal 8 damage, and we're going to deal to the guy next to us. That costs 1 CP. Alright, so we're doing 8 to this guy next to us. So it's 3, and then puts him at 7. Because it is defendable damage. And then Rogue with range, she's going to spend a momentum. And she is going to leak. We're going to roll a dice for her. She gets a 5. And on a 5 for leak, she's going to get 2 ionic energy. And she steals 3. Did spend a CP to steal 4 health. But we're not going to do that. We're going to keep our CP. We're just going to steal 3 health. So she goes up to 20. This guy drops down to 4. So unfortunately, we were not closer. Not good, but only so much we can do. Cyclops is going to use his momentum heal for 2. Put himself up to 22. That is it with our turn. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards for Rogue, 5 for Cyclops. The enemies are now going to roll. We're going to see how bad this is for us. Seems like it's not the worst case scenario, but not great. So the beam clones are going to attack. They're dealing 4 damage to us, and we're going to roll for see if we get knocked down. And we do get knocked. That's unfortunate. So it is defendable damage. So Cyclops can roll his defense without spending range. And he can't do anything because he rolled nothing good. So we're both taking 4 damage. So Cyclops goes down to 18. And we're going to get knocked down. And then Sinister's range is going to happen too. And we're going to just get dealt another 3 damage. So Cyclops is down to 15. Rogue is down to 13 from both of those attacks. And Rogue and Cyclops get knocked down. And then this dial goes up twice. And we're going to have to spend... Cyclops is going to get rid of a bye-bye. And I think we're going to get rid of this back off from Rogue. Doesn't seem that good. The only good part about it is the inflicting the influence to maybe get momentum, but we're not going to do that. That is it. It is now back up to our hero's turn. They are going to stay where they are, going to attack. And then we're going to do our beginning phase. We're going to spend a 2 CP to get rid of knockdown, but then we're going to get 1 from our income phase. That puts us at 2. And that's going to put Rogue down to 1. So our knockdowns go away. And then we both draw a card. Cyclops gets draw 1, then draw an additional card for each other leadership card that was previously played this turn, maximum 2 cards. Really want this leadership mechanic to work. And then we have an upgrade, which we will immediately give a support token to increase the combat points 2 and reduce it to 0 for Rogue. So she can get this down and just upgrades her straights. And then how many cards do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on Rogue and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on Cyclops. So we are good. So we are going to move on to the roll phase. Cyclops is rolling first. Alright, we keep getting baited by these 6s here. Cyclops has no momentum, so if I roll really good, I can't even turn it onto the guy who's in range. Guess we'll just roll one more time. So, not great, but we can use cards to make it better if we need to. But we will... Actually, what does Cyclops' thing do? I can inflict focus fire. Look at the top 3 cards in my deck. Maybe reveal one of them to your opponent and add it to your hand, and then kind of cycle. Probably more powerful with real opponents. Rogue is going to go now. And probably wants to damage this. What do we have going here? We have 1, 2, 4, 4. Maybe we try for a straight. Try to get our momentum up. I think that's what we're going to do. 6, 4. Great. We're in this weird spot of if we don't get anything, we have nothing. Well, I guess we'll re-roll these 2 dice and hope we get something. 5, 4. Okay, we can still at least leech this turn. Not what we wanted because we're going to be wasting our Ionic token ability, and we actually should have gotten Ionic tokens. We're not doing enough like normal attack. I could use cards to fix that problem, but let's just see what happens first. So Cyclops has no momentum, so he cannot attack with range. He also currently doesn't have any successful attacks right now. We do have cards. Fortunately, we can waste our Samies. Change the value of one of your dice to identical to the value of another one of your dice, so we can just give him a 4th 6. We're going to do that, unfortunately. That is going to let him deal 6 damage, undefendable damage, and also get a lot more battle plans, and also inflict focus fire, which we don't need to do. So we're basically doing it for the 6 damage so that we can kill off this guy that's next to us so he can't hurt us, and also so his crisis ability doesn't go off, because that would be going off at the end of this round. It means we do get 2 momentum to spread around, and we're going to give them this time to Cyclops. And then Cyclops is immediately going to spend 1 to heal somebody for 2. We're going to heal himself for 2, since Rogue is probably going to leech this turn. Rogue is going to spend 1 momentum. We don't get the Ionic energy because we are full up on Ionic energy. but we'll roll our 1 dice to see how much we. So 1, we're just gonna steal 2 health, which is not a lot, so unfortunately. So she's gonna heal up to 2 health, but it does take 2 health directly away from our last guy that's still on the map. We could play cards, and we will. I think now's the time we will. Let's see. First, we're going to use all of our battle plans to look at the top 3 cards of our deck. If any of them are leadership, we can take them, or we can take 1. None of them are leadership. Then each remaining card may be discarded or put back in the order. We are going to put 2 of them back on top. You'll see what they are as we draw them, and we'll put 1 in this card. Then we are going to get rid of a card, and we are going to get rid of our hold card. I don't want to get rid of, but I need the CP. And we are going to then spend 2 CP to get rid of all status effects on the chosen player. Probably not a good time to do this, because if I do get a withered, then I'm going to be stuck with a withered. Our health, we're going to take extra damage if we keep the focus fires on us. You know what? I'm not going to do it yet. Means I'm not going to get rid of the hold up yet. We will see what the enemy does first. Same thing with Rogue. Although Rogue actually doesn't have a way to get rid of all of her status effects from her hand. Thought she did, but she does not. Alright, so the enemy is going to go. That's what's going to happen. Don't want to lose, or we want all orange. All we want. Got everything bad. So we're getting attacked by everything that's still on the board. So our beam clones are going to attack, and neither one of them is defendable unless I sped for range, which I'm not going to do. So Cyclops, let's roll at least. So maybe we can at least avoid a knockdown. For once, can we avoid a knockdown? We haven't avoided it yet. We did avoid it this time, so we're not getting knocked down. So that's at least good. So Cyclops is going to be taking 4 plus another 3. It's going to be at 10 damage. And Rogue is going to be taking 4 plus another 3, and it's going to be at. So it's not looking great, actually. Felt like we were doing much better. I don't know what I did wrong. We don't have a lot of CP. I've been trying really hard to build up my CP count. Haven't been able to do it. Still have an enemy on the board. We might need range to defeat them still. We do heal a little bit and get a little bit of momentum after this, but then the crisis clock is going to happen. Oh wait, and then Cyclops is finally withered again, by the way. So we are now going to do the crisis clock. First one does nothing, but the second one, Cyclops loses the CP. And that is the end of that turn. So we're going to start a new round. We are going to move Rogue adjacent this time, and Cyclops has 1 momentum to be able to attack for range if needed. We are going to draw a card each. The Cyclops gets its assault upgrade, and Rogue gets her 1 more time, which gives an additional roll attempt. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. We have 7 cards here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 6 cards. All right. So we're not at the. We don't have to discard yet. They do both get a CP. Now Cyclops is going to discard his holds to get a CP, and going to spend 2 CP to cast this, which is going to get rid of all the status effects. So he's going to get rid of his withered. He's going to get rid of those 2 focus fires that's on him. Should help a little bit. And then he is down to no CP. So he cannot do his assaults at the moment, unless I discard other cards, which we're not going to do. Now we're going to roll for our attacks. Rogue goes first. Felt like I was doing way better earlier on. Then we would like to now hold on to our ionic drives for the boss and try to get 1 last leech in. But if I gamble for that, there is a chance that I end up in a place where I don't get to attack. But we're going to gamble for it. 1 more. All right, we do. That's going to be good. Let's just see how much we're leashing for now. We're gonna leech for 3. That's all we're gonna do with her. And then Cyclops is gonna roll. And yeah, I don't know what we can do with this. We got 5, 5, 1, 2, 3. With Cyclops, with what we have right now, we can just do 4 damage. We can go for broke here. We're not going to be able to kill this enemy again, which means that we're gonna end up getting focus fire back because I removed all that focus fire. Unless I can add damage, I can add damage if I get some CP. So we're gonna have to probably gamble here, depending on how lucky I get. So we're gonna re-roll one of these 5s. See what we get. We're hoping for a 4. We got a 1. We got a 6. So I think that 6 actually was the worst outcome for us, because now we can't do anything. We were hoping that worst case scenario we ended up with a pouch, the white one, or no, a fist or a pouch would have both given us something to do. Actually, we can still do hand to hand. That might be enough with what we have going on here. What do I have in my hand again? And add 2 damage, then add an additional 2 damage for each other leadership card that was previously played this turn. At most I can do 6 damage. So yeah, we are not going to be able to kill this one stupid enemy this turn. And I don't see anything else. What can Rogue do? Let me roll one more time. I guess let's have her help me roll one more time. Maybe I'll get lucky. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna get lucky. Oh, I did get lucky. Okay. All right. I think we can kill the guy this turn. So she helped me roll one more time. So let's do hers first. He's just gonna leech up to 11 points. And it goes past his shield, so he's gonna be down to 7 with 3 shield on top. Cyclops is gonna do his assault, which gives him 3 battle plans. Then he deals 8 damage. We're going to do no matter what, which costs 1 CP, which means we have to get rid of our assault card to be able to even do this, which adds 2 damage, which makes it 10, plus another 2 from if the leadership card was previously played this turn, which is going to make it 12. That's kind of a lot, but we don't want any more focus fire on him, and we want this character to die. So this guy's going to die. Means we finally are going to be able to get to the boss, but first this goes down. Means we get 2 momentum to spread around. We'll give 1 to Rogue, and we will give 1 to Cyclops. And then we did the main objective and the perfect reward. So the perfect reward is each your team defeats all henchmen, distribute an additional 6. So we're gonna get 10 health and 5 momentum because it's additional. So we're gonna bounce back up to 20 health. And we're going to get a lot more momentum. So 7 momentum. So 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And just as an instant, I could have spent a momentum to heal 2. And we will heal Cyclops for using. Alright, so we're going to flip this board over. See what the boss has in store for us. So we are up against Mister Sinister. So Mister Sinister, boss fight. Lean forward to be able to read this. Sensing your presence, Mister Sinister rushes to confront you. Why waste your lives on these pathetic creatures? He utters, ridiculous how small the text is from this far away. You'll regret your misplaced kindness. Boss setup. Start with 25 health, plus 10 per hero, plus 3 per oppression token, so 35. Goal, reduce them to 0. Upon completion, you win. Driven away, and the Morlock saved from certain doom. All right, so step 35. And I guess let's do what we need to do and see what happens. Interestingly enough, his crits are different in that these spaces are riskier than these, but that +2 is looking pretty good. We might just go for it with somebody. So what is he going to do? He's going to roll a dice per hero and gain evasive for each orange rolled, and then he's going to transfer one random negative status effect taken from yourself to the start player. Okay. So if we add focus fire to him, he's going to give it back to us. So keep that in mind as well. All right. So Cyclops is going first. We have to move. We're going to give this to Rogue. And I think we are going to move Cyclops to the card because he needs cards. Probably bad because no, we're going to do this. We both don't need to risk the crit right now. So let's just give him the 2 health. We'll give Rogue the extra damage so that maybe she can pull off like a really big attack. So that puts Cyclops at 24. And we're going to draw cards. Cyclops gets a 6-hit. And he gets a helping hands, which lets us re-roll one of his dice, which could be good based on the, whatever he rolls. We'll hold on to that. That's a 1 CP card, so that might be what we use our CP, or we also have a chosen player prevents 6 incoming damage. So both of us have a use of our 1 CP that we are getting as an instant right now. Probably double check win instance. We played at any time without restriction. These cards are immediately and cannot be interrupted. Okay. We're going to heal Rogue for 2 just to spread the love around from Mantis. Now, probably Squirrel Girl is going to come into play. So as a reminder, this is what Squirrel Girl does. Once per round, I can spend 3 momentums, and we all get +1 bonus damage. Then we also get to choose a face-up, a boost tile anywhere on the map, and pick it up and gain its reward. You know what? Since we can do that, we are going to leave the 2. We're going to use that ability to grab the boost tile. This is going to let us remove 1 status effect. We are going to remove the Withered. Yeah, the Withered. We'll leave the Withered. We will get rid of a focus fire. Okay, so now we're going to take our turns. We're not going to cast any cards right now. Cyclops is going first. So now we want our big damage turns if we can get them. Haven't really had any big damage turns. Now would be the time if we could get them. Don't like this first roll. What do we have? We have 6, 5, 5, 4, and 2. What can we do with backpack? We can do teamwork, which gives us some support. I think that might be just the play. We'll just stick with teamwork right now. That will give us 2 supports, which will help us get some of our combat points back. And we still do 5 damage, which is, respectable damage. We also have 3 battle plans, so we could maybe do some stuff with that. Let's see. Can inflict focus fire on a chosen component. Well, he's going to give us the focus fire back this turn, I think. So we're not going to do that yet, but we will do that the second he does that next turn. So we will add focus fire soon. We'll hold on to our battle plans for now. Rogue is going to... Now, we don't want her to leech this turn because I don't think we can use the ionic energy as her leech, with her leech. I mean, again, maybe we can, but I don't think we can. How I've been playing it. So we want her to do one of her actual attacks this so what do we have here? 2, 3, 4, 6. Straight would be really good. 2, 3, 4, 6. If we can get a 5, that would be 9 damage and a bunch of influence, which would let us use our momentum. We also are going to spend Squirrel Girls. I guess we were supposed to do this already. And everyone's getting +1 damage tokens. I'm assuming that's what I'm doing. It says I give +1, so I guess it's the damage tokens that we get. I think there is also a stack limit on damage token. I'm not 100% sure, but I think there is. Stack limit 2, yeah. Actually, so that's bad for us. We can't grab that +2 this turn then. So instead, we'll just grab this momentum, free momentum, and give it to her. But we still have to determine what we want to do with her turn, because I don't think we're getting our high altitude, our ultimate, or our other thing. So we're going to go for our straights, but do we have an ability to make that guaranteed? We do not. And currently with our roll, we don't roll well. We roll a 1, 2, 3, or 5. We could do some damage. So let's gamble on our first roll. We wanted a 5, so we're good. Cyclops is going first. Is simply doing 5 damage. Now, Mister Sinister has a defense. His range, he inflicts Wither. So he's just giving out Wither. One of us already has Wither. Does Wither have a stack? I think we said it has a stack of 2. So they're both going to be getting Wither. There's Wither this turn, guaranteed. But it applies immediately, reducing incoming damage. Okay. So Cyclops is doing 5 damage plus 1, 6, minus 1, to 5. Not doing any teamwork cards. So just 5 damage to Mister Sinister. So Mister Sinister is going to go down to... And then who also is getting withered, going to cancel out her 2 bonus tokens that she has. So she's going to be doing 9 damage. She's going to get 3 influence, which again she can use basically immediately to get momentum. I think that's how her influence is going to end up working. Player with these tokens must roll 1 dice at the start of the offensive roll phase per token. For every 1 through 3 roll, they get 1 fewer roll attempt, then remove all these tokens. Yeah, so I would inflict 3, but for that one, we're just going to get the momentum because he can't roll less than 1, so it doesn't really... Might do something with some of these cards, but we're gonna assume it doesn't. So we're doing 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 damage with all of her ionic energy, and that's with the wither taken into consideration. So that's gonna... Mr. Sinister is gonna drop down to... So not a bad first turn. Now we still have the rest of our main phase, but we're not going to cast any cards. So we are simply going to let Mister Sinister attack us. He's going to go. He's going to roll his attack dice. And right now we only have 1 focus fire on Rogue. So let's see. We have some stuff we can do here if we don't like what he's going to do. We could force him to reroll this if we want to. So it's multi-strike range. So these are where the crits are happening first. So let's take care of that. 2 and 5. So it's in the 2 spaces that's what we were worried about. He crits here, and he crits here. So neither where we are at. I don't know what poison is. I'm assuming it's just we take damage every turn, but let's see. A player with this token is dealt 1 damage per poison during their upkeep phase. And then we get dealt 7 damage. Which should be 8 for Rogue. And what can the battle plan do again? We said we wanted to do it. Yeah, we wanted to inflict focus fire, but we don't want to do it yet. Or we can get rid of that 6 and then 3 with a poison. I know. I think we're just gonna have to soak up this big attack. Let's just take it. So we're gonna take 7 damage on Cyclops. He's gonna go from 24 to 17, and he's gonna be poisoned. And Rogue is going to take 8 damage. So she's going to go down to 15. 17, 15. Both of us are poisoned. So during our upkeep phase, we're going to take some damage. And is for his attack. And then Crisis Clock is going to tick. So he's going to roll a 1. And he might gain elusive. He's going to roll 2 dice. He might gain elusive. So let's see what he rolls. He gains 2 elusive. Not good for us. Not happy with that. Elusive means that it's going to be harder to kill him. And that means how exactly does that work now? When a player with this token receives damage, they may choose to spend it. They roll a 1 or 2 no damage is received, and you can spend most of them. Next random bosses will spend all evasive tokens necessary to prevent a source dealing 4 damage to prevent lethal damage. Okay. And then he would transfer one random negative status effect token from himself to the start player. He has nothing negative on him. Why we did not put focus fire down. And then that is it for the turn. So Rogue is now the starting player. Both of them are going to take 1 damage from the poison. We're going to get our 1 CP. We could move. Don't think we're going to move though, because we don't want to be crit. We don't need to. So we're just going to kind of stay where we're at. Actually, we can move out of crit range completely right now. I think we're going to do that. We have a lot of momentum. So let Cyclops get this card and let Rogue get the extra momentum. Cyclops is drawing an extra card right now. He gets Helping Hands, and then he's going to draw his card for the turn. So we can force boss to reroll. Gain a battle plan. If another leadership card was previously played this turn, gain 3 battle plan instead. Then Rogue's card draw. Increase ionic energy. Stack limit by 1. Then roll 4. Stack limit by 1. Oh, increase that. We can increase the stack limit. Oh, so this. I think this one is a 1 per that we can do. No on. So that one looks pretty good. Increasing our... Also, Rogue would get an ionic energy for getting hit. If she got hit by 8, so she actually gets a 2. That's important to remember as well. Okay. So I think we're probably going to play this right now. But we need to generate a CP from something. We don't have any Skywards on us yet. So you know what? Let's get rid of this triple up. We get rid of a triple up to get a CP. Puts us at 3. Put it down to 0. We're going to play this ionic intensity. We're going to increase our max limit to 5, and we're going to roll a dice. And we rolled that. I don't remember what that does for us. How many dice do we roll? 4 dice. I don't know why I only rolled 1. Let's roll 3 more. So for each hand, we get 1. So we're going to get 3 ionic energy, and we also get a Skyward. So this goes away. We're going to get 1, 2, 3 of these. Hopefully we can do 1 big attack with her now. And we got the Skyward. And now we can hold 1 more if we can get it. So now we're just going to do our rolls, I think. 3, 4, 5. We will do our instant first with Cyclops and heal Rogue too, since she's lower. And we also will do our Squirrel Girl boost everybody. And both Cyclops and her get a boost. And she's going to grab this +2 from the board. And now we're going to roll for... And what are we getting out of this? What can we do? We don't have a lot of CP. Probably should have done this before rolling. Let's do this before rolling. Sorry, I'm going to do 1. We're going to do 1 backup. We're going to do our wind up, which lets us roll 1 dice. We're going to take this 2. You just have to remember it's a 2. And let's just draw a card. That's all we do. That's a 2. We're going to draw. We're going to discard this. We're going to get a card. This is what we got. It's probably going to be pretty useful. And also on our dice, we roll the straight. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It means we're going to be able to do a lot of damage. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And get a lot of momentum. So she's going to be doing 9 damage. And we're going to be able to play this sweet tea during it, assuming we discard something for it. I don't know how much damage that's going to be total, but let's see what Cyclops does with his turn. And I don't know, maybe we can kill him this turn. So Cyclops, now's the time to roll 6s. Or a lot of hands. Also, so we also meant to do it. We're going to spend all of our battle plans and put a focus down on Mister Sinister. And then I think we're just going to keep our fists, because that's going to be a decent amount of damage. It's going to be 7 damage, and we're going to get a battle plan, and we're going to get a support, because we have 4 1s. And he has the +1, so that will be 8. So both of our characters are going to spend 1 momentum to have range. And we're going to attack. Rogue attacks first. So she's attacking with 9, 10, 11, 12. we're going to cast Sweet Tea, which is going to give us... Oh, actually, you know what we forgot? We would have had to have spent a CP to spend all her ionic energy before. So we're going to get rid of a card to do that. That's part of her thing. You may only spend up to 2 tokens per turn. Alternatively, spend 1 to spend up to 4 tokens. I'm not sure if I messed that up earlier too. I probably did. But if I did, sorry, I forgot that's a thing. I don't know why they don't put that on her passive. I feel like that would be, I don't know. I keep looking at her passive to remind myself about how ionic energy works. But I'm going to get rid of another card then. Got to make up for that. I'm going to get rid of a 3rd card to make up for that. I had the cards to do it, and I ended up not spending them. That's fine. And that's going to pay for the Sweet Tea. That's going to pay for the time I didn't do it. And that's going to pay... I'm putting them all in the wrong spot. Oh, no. Rogue. Did I put any more Rogue cards in Cyclops' pile? Let's double check I didn't put any Cyclops in Rogue's pile. I spent 3 cards to get all the CP. 1 for dispense to get Sweet Tea taken care of. 1 to do the last turn that I spent 4. 1 for earlier in the game when I spent 4. And then also, I don't even know if I actually spent 4 earlier in the game, because I feel like I was holding on to them for a long time. And then that's going to give us another 2. And then also, let's just double check Cyclops' real quick. Spend these tokens. I'm assuming that's an instant as well. So I could also just spend this token right away to give her CP as well. So if we really cheated, we had enough ways to cover it. All right. So back to what she's doing. She is doing 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 because of the focus fire, -2 because of the wither. He only has 17 health, so that's going to be 18 damage to him. He is going to wither again. I don't know why I got rid of the withers. This is what I should have been getting rid of. And this also goes away. All of that goes away. But she's doing 18 damage. Cyclops is also doing another 7 damage because his +1 and wither cancel out. That's 25 damage to him this turn. And all he does for defense is inflicts wither back. So technically, Cyclops would be doing 6 damage. So that's going to be 24 damage to Mister Sinister, which means he's going to die, which means we're going to win the game. No, if he gets his attack, I don't think he gets his attack roll. But even if he did, the worst he could do with us is 7. He can't crit us. If he did, he could have done 9. He would take 10. She's got 16. He's got 16. So no matter what he would do on his turn, we would survive the hit anyway. But he doesn't get his turn because we kill him. What was that? 3 turns to kill him? So I think we did a couple minor mistakes. Most of them I think we realized as we went. So hopefully we self-corrected as we played. But again, there's a lot of little things to remember and that are easy to forget that kind of cause some issues. Like specifically what's an attack, what's not an attack. I believe I interpreted most of it right. I don't actually know. Also, leash here is spelled L-E-A-C-H. I don't know. I feel like that should be L-E. But yeah, that's it. That's the second mission. I think we won. I don't think any of the mistakes I did would change the outcome. I'm still not 100% sure on the timing of like spending support tokens and battle tokens. They look like they're instant, but I could be wrong. I'm also not sure like how this card works exactly. Like this is not a power. Increase ionic energy, stack limit by 1. So I assume this like is supposed to go out like a power, right? And it stays out for the whole game. I assume that's how that works. There's a lot of stuff like I didn't do any of the character's 6 powers. I never did her sass, which feels like it would be really good against like humans. Gain a CP, inflict influence, stopping them potentially from rolling, and then just dealing 3 undefendable damage over and over again. Leech seems like it would be really good just consistently against humans. So you kind of like leech and then maybe you have the brawls for when things don't go your way. Then you have the Skyward, I guess, for when you get attacked. We didn't really get attacked that often to use it. Like with ways, like if he would have rolled again, we could have used it. And the same thing with him. Like we only did the straights, and then we did teamwork once and hand to hand. We did not do target acquired, which would inflict focus fire and deal damage. So I feel like that's some of this is like when you only have one opponent, that would be good, right? Because you can stack your focus fire and then force them to have to remove it. But when you're like going against henchmen that die immediately, it's not worth applying the focus fire. Against the boss is worth it until he can move it, but he ended up not removing it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just talking out loud now. I don't even know what I'm saying. It's like 2 in the morning. What time is it? Yeah, it's almost 3 in the morning when I'm recording this. So my brain is just going off. Anyway, this is my second game. I think next time I play, I'm going to do a 2 difficulty mission and see how much harder it is. The ranged enemies definitely made it harder, which is something that we predicted would happen before. Definitely, like sometimes you have turns where you just annihilate a henchman, and then sometimes it takes like 3 rounds to kill a henchman. That's all dependent on your dice luck. The knockdown was pretty brutal because it kept erasing all my CP points, which meant that I couldn't really use a lot of the cards that I have. But the 2 allies that we had were really good. In fact, I didn't even put out a 3rd ally after I took the 2nd one. I didn't really even look at the other ones. We also could have used Mantis and Squirrel Girl as their exhaust abilities, which would have healed us for more, and we would have gained an extra damage bonus, but we did not need to do that. I'm pretty sure I did the round bonus correctly with getting all that momentum and all that health, because it did say gain an additional. I think that was pretty crucial to making this round a lot easier. Other than that, we forgot to do our defense rolls against his attack. That's another thing that I forgot to do. For some reason my monitor shut off. I don't know why. So that's another little mistake that I made that, again, I don't think would have changed much, but we could have prevented some damage, or we could have immediately done damage back to him. Might have forced Rogue to get a lesser iconic energy, which still wouldn't have changed the final outcome. But yeah, I don't know. This feels like the type of game that when you're playing against another human, tiny mistakes are caught because you're probably very defensive, like, hey, you can't do that, or that's not the right timing. When playing solo against AI opponents, you just have to kind of know the rules and interpret them correctly. So if you think I interpreted any of them wrong, let me know. Again, there's a lot of people that play Dice Throne that would know all the timings and all the exact keywords, and I could be overthinking how attacks work, or maybe I got it right on. But yeah, Dice Throne missions, again, I think I like Dice Throne Adventures a little bit better. But I am curious to see how crazy the missions get at harder levels. I might like the game a bit more once we get to, like, I don't know, difficulty 3 missions. But I haven't looked ahead to read what happens. Like, I keep playing these blind, so I'm learning as you're learning what all these things do and the challenges that come with it. It's not like I'm pre-playing it and practicing and getting better, but it also leads to me making mistakes because I don't know the characters that well when I play them, and then I kind of learn as we go. I don't know what kind of cards to expect, but that mystery makes it a little bit more fun too, because I think once I know all the characters too well, I don't know, I won't love it that much. I'm Wakasm. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to me ramble. I will see you next time.